Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the live show with Musart. Today I'm joined by Sahibzada Asim Maharvi. He is the chairman of Chishtiya Ribbat Sufi Centre, and mashallah, he has had so much travel, he has had so much study abroad, whereas something brought him back to spiritualism, something brought him back to Sufism. Now, we all go through these journeys in our life, especially when we are Muslims. You know, we don't know what to do. We are juggling deen, we're juggling dunya, but mashallah, there's something different about Asim Maharvi that we're going to find out today. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum.
Thank you so much for coming. Actually, you're a journalist too, a columnist in America. With a great career.
Very interesting, yes.
What changed? Because you're in such a high-end career. People are going to, be rushing. They're going to rush to build up their careers and have good pay. What changed? People are going to look at you and say, why did you leave all that for this? There must be something that happened.
No, this is actually the reason behind.
Right.
That your dreams, and you pursue all those dreams which are actually the material drive, either for fame, either for money, either for status, or for whatnot. But when you achieve those, then what?
What's next?
Yeah, what's next? So, no prayers. I was 24 years old when I had a business, probably making a good amount of money.
Okay.
And a very well-known person, since I was, as you told, that I was in media. So, but a time comes when you actually look, what is the meaning behind that meaning, to seek who really I am. That was the reason which took me back to my own roots, to know and to self-realize, who am I really. That was the reason.
Okay, so how long were you in America actually? How long were you out there for? Was your whole family in Pakistan? And
yeah, my whole family is in Pakistan. I was sent to a boarding house because I was a very naughty kid in the family.
They always say naughty children are the most intelligent. So that explains a lot with all your achievements, mashallah.
So after that I went to Russia to study medicine.
So you can speak Russian as well?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Я говорю по-русски.
Okay, I don't know what you just said there.
I can speak in Russian.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So after studying medicine for 6-8 months, after studying anatomy, I thought that probably I'm going to end up as a butcher rather than a doctor. So I just switched to mass communication. I studied journalism there. Went to Budapest for a year to study at American University. And after my graduation, after I got the bachelor's degree, I went to States for masters. And I did masters in international relations with comparative religion as a major.
Wow.
While I was studying the comparative, that is probably, I won't say that it started from there, but it triggered from there.
Would you say you were a bit away from Islam, to driven into worldly matters, or was it something, once you studied the comparative religion, that's what made you realize?
I was never away from Islam.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Islam was never a burden on me, right?
I think when we are abroad, I think when we have work and stuff, prayers, they don't care about them so much. They're just more worried about when I'm going to pay the next bill. Did you ever have that issue?
Oh, luckily not, because I was a Fulbright scholar, so my bills were paid. And that was actually one thing which really gave me something that, this is not my effort. I never considered myself as a very bright, if I have achieved something. It was somehow that things are being given to me. I am moved in a certain way that I was experiencing, and the things were revealing themselves to me. So that reality, when I encountered myself that, this is not what I have achieved. This is really something which has been bestowed upon me. So there must be a meaning behind this.
So
Why?
you're saying that success.
The
you could
effortless
say.
success.
So that was making you feel, okay, this is
Yeah,
too easy.
this is too easy.
I wish we all could be like that. So you say, so this is too easy. There's something more, obviously.
Yeah.
You've got a bigger purpose.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I have seen people things.
Yeah.
I mean, their dreams and all those dreams, they were just put it in a basket and given it to me.
Yeah.
So, okay, what if I have achieved all these dreams? I was at that state. And then by the study of comparative religions, I realized that what am I comparing with? I mean, where is the comparison? It is the same divine message, and this is the final version of it. So I was really shocked that the apparent multiplicity or the differences we see and how we discriminate people on the basis of religion or on the basis of skin, on gender and culture and whatnot.
What about Islamic sects? You know, like different. Some people say, "Oh, I'm a Sufi," or some people say, "I'm, you know, I don't believe in spiritualism," or there's Salafi. There's so many labels now, as well. Did that not come into it as well?
It's not only about Islam. It's the human thing.
Yeah.
Humans are composed of two different realities.
Yeah.
Every human being has that spirit in it. So whoever has that spirit, he has that yearning to reach to that spirit, to reach to that essence of the life, which is driving me through this journey on the planet. So it's not about being Muslim or it's not about being non-Muslim.
Yeah.
It's not about being the of one particular sect. Like, I mean, for Muslims, Ghaus-e-Azam, Hazrat Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani, he followed the school of Hazrat Imam Ahmad Hanbal. But look at in Pakistan and India and even in Bangladesh, all of his followers, they are the Hanafis.
Yeah.
Hazrat Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti Ajmeri Gharib Nawaz, the patron saint of the Chishtiya order from the Ajmer Sharif, he himself was from the Hanbali school. Of, if we talk about the fiqh schools, so and all of his followers, including myself, I am a Hanafi. So this understanding that probably Sufism or Tasawwuf is any sect, it is not a sect. It
I think
is
that's another question that maybe the audience will have. Yeah.
Yeah, it is that spiritual inner dimension of Islam. Let me explain you this. Islam claims itself that it is not a religion; it is a deen.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
so
way of life.
what does it?
Yeah.
What does it mean by a deen?
Yeah.
Deen has the three major departments. One is the department of faith and belief, and that faith and belief is on all the unseen realities. One God, angels,
Yes.
Day of Judgment,
Yeah.
prophets, holy scriptures, right? So all these are unseen realities. That is the faith. And the faith is beyond the reach of reason, right? The arguments. You just believe it. It somehow comes to your heart.
So what grabbed your attention then?
So this is the second is Islam. And Islam has to do with where I am a given fact, as my body is, my parents, my family, my society, the environment I am surrounded with, the objects, whatever material, whatever the tangible reality is. My relationship as a human being with all those realities which I can see in this seen world, that is addressed by the Islam, that is addressed by the Sharia. Now I myself, I am also something.
Yeah.
Right? So I have that inner world. And that inner world is that spiritual dimension of Islam, which is called as Sufism. So no matter whatever school of thought, whatever school of students you follow, you still.
So would you say Sufism is a spiritual part of Islam then? Mostly
it
spiritual.
is the spiritual dimension.
Yeah.
It is the spiritual dimension.
So what would you say to people who say, oh no, lots of people disagree with some of the things because they'll say no, certain things are not possible, it's not allowed, how can, because obviously there's lots of saints that we follow. Obviously in Sufism there's lots of saints that are followed, and you follow the examples, and you use what you take upon their teaching. But lots of other Muslims would disagree and say this is not right. You should be going directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You shouldn't be.
Actually, this is the most direct path.
Yeah.
To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the only principle here is that love of the beloved. Yeah, where the Lord or the God, the remain as an object to worship. He becomes your beloved. This is the only one principle, and Sufism is the path which is unique to every seeker, right? As you move on this path, as you go, and actually you are moving from a lower conscious level to a higher conscious level, and when you are at the higher conscious level, you will see that all this apparent multiplicity which we experience in our lives, which we experience in this time and age, there is a unity behind it. So you go beyond those discriminations, and actually believe me that we have closed the shop of the arguments. So there is no argument with us.
Yeah. No, but obviously, but I'm just trying to audience
Yes,
would have.
please.
But well, I personally, in my opinion, I believe obviously without spiritualism, the biggest question I have is, how can you not be spiritual? Because you have a spirit inside you.
Yes.
And when it dies, it's not going to be, that's it, you're just gone. It has another dimension later on. But what answer would you give to people who would say, my main objective is, to just pray 5 times a day. If I need anything, I should only ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because I think people mix spiritualism thinking that shaitan is going to...
Well, let me be very clear to you,
Musart. The devil's going to come and confuse them, because you even hear stories of people saying, when they read certain scriptures, they read so many surahs, the devil took over his mind. I think these questions arise, and then obviously we'll come back to another important question, I think, which is related to this. But what answer would you say to that then? How can you differentiate that you're not going on the wrong path? What answer would you give to that? Like, you're
the
not being
companion
misguided.
of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hazrat Zaid, once comes to him and he asks, and he was hesitant to ask the question. So the Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that, Zaid, do you have some question? You want to ask something? And Hazrat Zaid said, oh yes, Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I had. And then again he was hesitant to ask the question. And Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that, you will say, or you want me to tell you? And he said that it would be really a great blessings if you say it. And Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam took his 3 fingers and pointed that on the heart of the Zaid and said, you have got the heart. This is going to tell you what is right and what is wrong. So heart always tells you what is right and what is wrong. As far as the Sufis are concerned, we are not the missionaries, right? We are not here to guide you for, okay, do this or do not. Whatever you are doing it, go ahead. If that is working for you, if that is really giving you that bliss, right, that is more than enough. Alhamdulillah. We do not have any arguments that, okay, follow my path. Why? Right? If that is nurturing you, if going to, this is also a dilemma that probably the Sufis are against the Sharia, or the Sharia or the or Tariqat are two different things. No, this is the inner dimension of the Sharia also, right? That I, as a human being,
am I doing something right or wrong?
Yes. So you have to follow that, and then you have your own spiritual journey within, where you have that connection with your Lord, and where you see everything from the perspective of the Lord. And when you look at the things and the creation from that angle of the vision, then your brother is your brother, and every single human being is also your brother. When you see that food from the angle of the Munim, the one who is giving you, that eating of that food is actually the ibadah. What we have done is that we have somehow restricted the whole institution of ibadah in the rituals.
Yes.
While Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that my slaves are those who remember me while they are walking, while they are sleeping, while they are talking, while they are looking at the things, right? So what is that ibadah? I mean, is this only the ibadah, the ritualistic ibadah? Then probably in whole of my day, 1.5 hours is enough for Lord, and for the rest, I can do whatever myself wants me to do.
So where would you say you cross the line where I think you see people, I'm not judging anyone here, but maybe people that are on the outer appearance. Okay, I think the biggest question, I think people are very more conscious about how I need to look. I need to have a big beard, I need to dress in a certain way, I need to pray 5 times a day. But subhanAllah, sometimes you meet these people, they're so arrogant and egoistic because they think, yes, I am what I am. You can't tell me what to do because I have done everything externally. How would you now? What would you? I know. There's a hadith related to that. Obviously, with the Prophet ﷺ, when a woman, someone questioned the Prophet ﷺ, and he said, "I've known 2 women. One woman is constantly praying 5 times a day, but she has, she's very ill-speaking to people, and then I know another woman who she doesn't pray regularly, but she's such a giver to the community. She's always looking out for someone who's going to go to Jannah." And the Prophet ﷺ said, "The one who's caring for the community." Now, when these examples appear, obviously, as Muslims, we need to take these on and understand the depth. But I think many people get confused and mix.
No,
So,
I
what
mean,
would you say?
according
How can
to
people
Sufis-
open their How can people open their heart a bit more, or be more spiritual? Let's say, what can they do to remain humble, which I think is what a Sufi is.
Yeah,
A humble human being.
The thing is that if the ibadah or the obligatory rituals of the ibadah is giving you the pride, that is sin. Actually the sin. You become more close to Him when you are humble. So that is where this knowledge makes an idol. The same person who is carrying that idol. And that is the path of Abu Jahl. You have the knowledge, but then you have the pride, and then you have the ego, and that is what is not accepted.
And even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if my servant has even 1 ounce of pride, he's not going to be allowed in Jannah. But then lots of people miss. But still, the thing is, what do you think? Do you think Allah ta'ala seals these people's hearts because they won't change? What do you think is the reason behind that?
That's the will of the Allah.
Do you think he's done this on purpose?
This is the human thing, that we want everything according to our understanding, right? That okay, everything should be equal. Just like the humans have tried the socialism, humans have tried the communism, and what not other political or the economical systems, just for their understanding of equality or their understanding of justice, right? So this is my thing. And how do we realize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then? Because this works, this is a great divine plan, and the things are moving. And why do we look at somebody that, and from his exterior, right? He can be a messenger to me. He can be an example to me. A proud person is a proud person in him. Whatever is going to happen to him is going to happen to him. But for me, he is carrying a message. Don't be proudful. I remember a story of Hazrat Shaykh Sadi, a great Sufi saint who has written many books, Gulistan and Bostan, which are still being read in the madrasa and everywhere. Even our grandmothers, they used to tell those stories. And in he was a very brilliant student. And in the religious studies, during his religious studies at Madrasa Nizamiya, because he was brilliant, so he was sitting with his friends doing the Dora Hadith. Dora Hadith is that you open up the Hadith, and all those students who are sitting there, they will give their own view and commentary on that particular Hadith. So since he was very brilliant, so he'll always come up with something new. And naturally there was a sort of a jealousy among the students that, oh, Sadi is such a brilliant student. So once he went to his teacher and he said that, worthy teacher, this one of my fellow student, he is jealous of me. And the teacher, he smiled and he said, oh Sadi, you are telling me about his jealousy, but tell me in what hadith you have read that backbiting is allowed. So everything, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that look around you, don't you see the signs?
Yes.
So then every act which is happening is actually a sign for me leading towards Him.
Yeah.
So all those differences or paradoxes of life which we see, they have an inner meaning for us also, which really helps us to move forward.
I saw an interesting post once on Facebook. Somebody asked a question, I won't say their name, but I was quite intrigued. Somebody asked a question, where is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I commented, as close as your jugular vein.
Yeah. This is like, I mean, there were two twins in the womb of the mother, and they had this dialogue. And one baby says to the other baby, there is a mother. And the other baby said, no, I haven't seen her.
I haven't seen her.
I haven't seen her. Where is she?
Yeah, exactly.
And the second baby says that, look, she's the one who is feeding us. And she said, I don't see. This is just a vein which is supplying me the food. That's it.
No, but you're going to be surprised at the response.
So these are the questions.
Yeah, no. But the response I got from that was, no, I'm wrong. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is on His throne. He's in, as Ayatul Kursi says, yes. He's on His kursi. But I'm like, but you just asked the question, where is He? For me, He's everywhere. Yeah. For me, He's as close as to my jugular vein. So is that everywhere. A school of thought, would you say? I know He's everywhere, mashallah. But I'm saying is, subhanallah, but I'm just saying is, this is the paradox thinking that the people have. They're like, no, if it's written here, if it's written in that section, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is on His throne. We dare not say He's next to our jugular vein. I'm like, then I didn't argue. I just left it to that because I know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is for me, and like you said before at the beginning, it's about being conscious 24/7. And I think a true Muslim personally is the one who's going to say, if I do this, what is Allah going to think of me? If I take this step, what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going to think of me?
Do you think that we literally act like?
I aim to. I'm talking about my own experience. Yeah. Like this is something that I try to have in my life every day. Like if I say something, I'm like, I'll regret it later, or maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to be happy now because I've upset that person. And I would actually go back and apologize to that person. But I'm just saying it's just having that awakening awareness. For me, I'm just giving my own experience. But I'm just saying is people will say, no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in His kursi. He's not next to you. You can't. How dare you say that? It's disrespectful. Like, I'm like, but there's even the ayat that I am close to you as your jugular vein, and people confuse it too.
I don't know if I can say that. There is one verse from Kabir. Kabir was a famous sage and a poet. Har kahe har kaisa hai. Har means everything, and har means him.
Yes.
Hare. So har kahe har kaisa hai. Everybody asks, how is he? Kya haath pe dhar दूं ऐसा है? If he is that simple that I can put it on your palm. कहे कबीर सुन भाई साधु हर जैसे को वैसा है. Kabir says that Lord is for everyone
how
you see him. So for those, they are also right. If for them the Lord is probably beyond seventh sky on His throne. But for those who consider that actually my heart is that throne where He sits, and if He is not sitting there means that throne is not clean. So that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which is on that throne comes here on this throne when it is
ready.
Clean, it is purified. It is purified from the idols of greed It is purified from the idols of fear. It is purified from the idols of lust and all those things which we have placed here. Because Sufi says that, look, your body is your body, right? Do whatever you want to do with this. Go ahead, work, earn the money for your kids. The only thing which is not yours is your heart. Do not keep anything in your heart except Him. We just passed Shab-e Barat, right? The night of salvation, the night of freedom. And in that regard also, Rasul Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that this is the night where He forgives everybody but three. And who are those three? The one who is disobedient to his parents, one who keeps bad feelings about his fellow human beings in his heart. See? So how can that throne be this hard if I have all those idols? So for those, the thing is that where you see Him, do you really see Him?
You can't see Him, no.
There should be some place where I should see Him.
Yes, there should be, but we can't. But they say we can't, obviously the human eye would not be able to take in His nur. So
if you want to see, I mean, He is in the eyes of the mother. If you want to see, He is in the eyes of your baby. He is in the eyes of your teacher. He is in those hands which really helps you. Right? It all depends on you if you want to see Him or if you want to read Him in the books.
Okay, so
what is your relationship with your Lord? That defines your vision. If He is just an examiner sitting up there waiting for me, that if I take a single step away from this path, He is going to punish me or He is going to put me in the fire. Okay? If I have this much of relationship with Lord, believe me, He is watching me then. But if if He is my beloved, right? If He has created me from that love, I will be more fearful to do anything wrong.
So, okay, you just put me in a stance there. There's okay. Now, how can we apply the trust of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala into our daily lives? How can we get more closer to Him in that sense? What advice would you give? Like people say, you get lots of people complaining and stuff like that. Oh, my life's not going well. Maybe Allah's punishing me. But obviously, well, my understanding obviously is that your Lord is as you see Him, as He says in Hadith. Allah says, "I am to my servant as he sees me."
Yes.
So if you're going to believe He's there for you and He's going to look after you, I personally believe your life positively change or negatively change. It depends on you. But what advice would you give to people to say, how can they apply spiritualism in their life of having more faith in Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, getting more closer to Him, and how they can get what they want in this world as well as the hereafter? What advice would you give?
The first step would be self-accountability. You have to be very honest. If you are, when you open that shop of honesty, the first customer you will get is love. So first you have to be very honest, and you have to do that self-accountability, that where do I stand, right? And get out of that perception. And when you realize that, okay, although I have been putting every blame of my own deeds to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, in reality it was me who was doing it. Then you put a priority list, and this is the advice to all the fellow human beings, to all the Muslims, young and old, that my dear, humans are made in such a fashion that they can only strive for the things which are on the priority of their consciousness. Why do we see that old people are more religious and you will find them more in the mosques than the youth? Because now at this age, they are probably seeing that, okay, my life is going to end and now I have to enter into something else. So now Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is on my priority, right? So you have to be very honest with yourself and to do an analysis that where is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your life? I mean, believe me, when you will go through that, you will see that probably family is my priority, a degree is my priority, certain bank balance is my priority, then a car is my priority, then probably some gadget is my priority. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is somewhere on down on the list.
Unfortunately.
And that effort I will give to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So stop blaming Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is with us.
I've come across people though who will say, and these are people who've actually entered Islam, they will say, you know, when I'm not so religious and you know, thinking about God or whatever, Allah, and then my life is going better. As soon as I start doing all the rituals or going towards it, my life starts to destruct.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Because the definition of the life is different.
So they will say, and they'll argue, oh, you know, why there's some people in this life who they don't believe in God, they've got everything they want. I'm like, that's their paradise.
No, actually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says
but then like, why can't we have both?
Well, I mean, see, we are living in this materialistic driven society, environment, where we see that if somebody has been given with more of the material, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I test you when I take something from you, and I test you when I give you something. So he has been given a greater, bigger task and a test, and you say that this is a karam. Like, I mean, if I have more of the money, like, that money has
no value.
No value if I keep it to myself.
Yeah.
If I miss giving the full right to the right person, I have to be answered. And compared to that person who was given just only from hand to mouth, at least he is not going through this accountability. Consider, I mean, the Sufi says that this is a journey. This is not the house.
Yeah.
So spend your life here as a journey, and spend your life in here as a traveler with that you want to meet your beloved, right? So have you ever seen the travelers fighting on something?
Yeah, no, they're too worried about their next destination.
The travelers, they want to be, I mean, the travel is easy, more easy. I have been to 79 countries. Believe me, the most easiest travel is when I am not carrying anything, right? Otherwise, the EasyJet or some other will charge me.
Exactly.
But this is how it is. So when those people who are even wealthy, right, that does not make their themselves that okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happy with them. That wealth is also a test. And then those who are conscious, rich people, they keep on giving that, okay, I have been given, okay, I take it, I use it, and I give it, and then I keep on walking. So this is not a house, right? Enjoy, look here, everything is beautiful by that beautiful Creator. The moment you will try to possess that and keep it with you, it becomes a burden, right? Material is not bad, but you should own the material. Material should not own you.
Yes.
This is the philosophy of the Sufis.
MashaAllah. That's why you're well off and you're fine. So it just comes.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. No, but the other question is about spiritualism. I want to ask, is an important question, is it possible, and I have this question from people, is it possible to see spirits, or some people have that gift, or because with the naked eye, like you said, if you can see your parents, obviously, I mean, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through different human beings, obviously He's there, He's looking after you. But I'm talking about seeing spiritual things like angels or other spiritual creatures that Allah Ta'ala has created. Is it possible to see these with the naked eye?
I don't think this is a relevant question anyways.
No, because I know there are going to be people asking this question, because I have like people say, no, the human, because you cannot be that high.
I can tell you one thing. For those who can see it, they will never tell it. And they haven't seen it.
Really? Okay. Interesting. Okay, so what about when it comes to when people are affected by magic and black magic and stuff like that? Is there a way? What advice would you give? Is there a way to protect yourself more? Is it because are those people more affected because they're more negative, or if you're more positive and you're more in spiritual line with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you won't be affected? Is there a basis of that?
Well, this is again a very
Deep
question. Stereotype question
Yeah.
because Sufis or those who are on this spiritual path, they are somehow taken to the average Muslims equivalent to the magicians somehow.
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
that's what I'm.
So that's where I would like to make this distinction that look, all these things, the spiritual healing is a knowledge. It has nothing to do with spirituality or with the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? The lover may ask from the Lord for your well-being and he accepts his prayer, right? That is something else. But those who are writing all these taweez and you consider them as the holy, right, or the illuminated people, you are wrong. Periodically you are wrong. This is a particular field of study, and which contains the study of the letters of the alphabets, which contains the study of the numerical values, and you might have to do another program on the spiritual healing because it is
Yes, it's
such
quite
a
deep concept.
I have to tell you this, the cosmology of the human being and how this whole
Affects you.
healing thing works, how it goes from one level of existence to another level of existence and how it comes down. So,
Okay. So, mashallah, you've opened a Chishtiya Sufi Study Centre. Can you
Yes.
tell us a bit more about that? What do you teach there, and what is your aim?
the aim is actually that we have enough of teaching and learning. So this is the study center which basically makes you unlearn the things which were not important. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that ilmi la yanfahu kul a'udhu bi rabbil, that that knowledge which is not beneficial, please protect me from that. Right. So this is a very interesting study center that it teaches you how to unlearn.
Okay, unlearn. Okay, interesting.
How to unlearn.
Okay.
And then how the real knowledge reveals itself and opens your heart.
Interesting. Okay.
This is the other way around.
Thank you so much for your time. One thing I would like to, last question is, what I ask all my guests is, if you can tell them what advice would you give to their lives for an ultimate change that you've used in your life and what you teach at your study centre. And if you can look at them.
Come and join us.
Okay.
And
It's one tip, one advice that is quite powerful to you.
make a priority list. Be honest. See where is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If He is on your top priority, then all what you are doing is an ibadah. All what you are doing is pleasing Him, and you are on the right path. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is your top priority, and by making Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as your top priority doesn't mean that there is no scope in life and you will have no material.
Thank you so much. I'd like to wrap up and say, thank you so much to Chishtiya for coming all the way. And like you said, make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala your priority, and then anything is possible. So go and make that list now. Thank you for watching. Until next time, the live show with Musart.